Hello, everyone. I want you to stop for a moment and think carefully about your life right now. Think about how your brain feels every single day. Are you focused? Are you sharp? Do you feel mentally alive? Or do you feel tired, distracted, slow, and mentally weak? Because the truth is painful. Most people are losing their brain power every single day, and they don't even notice it happening. You wake up and immediately grab your phone. Your brain doesn't even get one quiet moment. You scroll through videos, messages, noise, stress, and information before your mind is fully awake. Then you repeat the same routine again and again until your life starts feeling automatic. Your brain stops feeling excited. It stops feeling challenged. Slowly, it becomes tired. And this is dangerous, because your brain is not designed for comfort all day. Your brain is designed to grow, adapt, struggle, and learn. But most people today avoid struggle completely. They want everything easy. Easy entertainment, easy answers, easy comfort. And because of that, their brain slowly becomes weaker. This is why people forget names quickly. This is why people cannot focus for long conversations anymore. This is why many people feel mentally exhausted even when they have done nothing important all day. Their brain is overloaded, but undertrained. And if you continue living like this for years, one day you wake up and realize something terrible. You are alive physically, but mentally you feel disconnected from life. You stop feeling curious. You stop feeling sharp. You stop feeling mentally powerful. That is why this video matters. Because today, we are not talking about small life hacks. We are talking about protecting the most valuable thing you own, your mind. And while you improve your brain, you will also improve your English naturally. You will train your listening, your understanding, your focus, and your confidence at the same time. So listen carefully. This is not just about staying smart. This is about staying alive mentally. Let us begin with the first habit. Use your other hand sometimes. This sounds simple, maybe even stupid. But this habit is more powerful than most people realize. Your brain loves patterns. It wants to save energy. That means, when you repeat the same actions every day, your brain stops paying attention. It goes into automatic mode. You wake up, use the same hand, open the same doors, hold the same spoon, brush your teeth the same way. Your brain becomes comfortable, and comfort slowly creates weakness. But when you suddenly use your non-dominant hand, your brain wakes up immediately. Everything feels strange, awkward, slow, uncomfortable. And that discomfort is exactly what creates growth. Because your brain is forced to create new neural pathways. It is forced to focus again. It must pay attention to movements it normally ignores. Imagine trying to write your name using the opposite hand. It feels difficult. Your handwriting looks terrible. You become frustrated. But inside your brain, something powerful is happening. New connections are being built. That struggle is brain exercise. Most people avoid anything that makes them feel uncomfortable or slow. But your brain grows through challenge, not comfort. A man named Daniel started doing this every morning. He used his left hand to brush his teeth and eat breakfast. At first, it felt annoying, but after a few weeks, he noticed something strange. His focus improved. His memory became sharper. He felt mentally awake again. Not because of medicine, not because of coffee. Because he challenged his brain in a simple way every single day. That is how growth works. Small challenge, repeated daily. So tonight, try something different. Use your other hand. not for fun, not as a joke, but as a signal to your brain, a signal that says, we're still growing. Now let us go deeper. Habit 2. Do one hard thing every single day. This habit can completely change your life if you truly understand it. Most people organize their entire life around comfort. They avoid difficulty. They avoid pain. They avoid embarrassment. And because of that, their brain slowly becomes weak. Your brain needs challenge the same way your body needs movement. Imagine someone who stays in bed for 1 full year. What happens to their body? Their muscles become weak. Their energy disappears. Your brain works the same way. If you never challenge it, it becomes mentally lazy. That is why doing one difficult thing every day is so powerful. The difficult thing does not need to be huge. It just needs to force your brain outside comfort. Speak in English even when you feel nervous. Taking a cold shower. Reading a difficult book. Walking without your phone. Waking up earlier. Saying no to distractions. Studying when you feel tired. These small struggles send a message to your brain. We are not becoming weak. There was a woman named Sarah who felt mentally exhausted all the time. She constantly forgot things. She felt emotionally tired. Her focus was terrible. She thought something was wrong with her brain. But the real problem was simple. Her life had become too comfortable. Every day was the same. Easy entertainment, easy routine. No challenge. So she made one rule. Every day, one difficult thing. Some days she practiced public speaking. Some days she exercised when she felt lazy. Some days she read difficult material for 30 minutes. And slowly, her mind changed. Her confidence returned. Her focus returned. Her energy returned. Because struggle creates growth. Comfort creates decay. And this is something modern society does not want you to understand. Comfort feels good at the moment, but too much comfort destroys your mind over time. So ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you intentionally did something difficult? Not because you had to, but because you wanted to grow. If your answer is, I don't remember, then your brain is slowly falling asleep. And now it is time to wake it up. Now let us talk about screens, because this may be one of the biggest dangers to your brain today. And the scary part is that most people don't even realize it. Every morning, people wake up and immediately touch their phone, before sunlight, before water, before silence, before thinking. The first thing they feed their brain is noise, notifications, videos, messages, drama, comparison, information. Your brain never gets a moment to breathe, and over time, this destroys your focus. Your brain becomes addicted to stimulation. It jumps from one thing to another every few seconds. Video, comment, picture, music, message, scroll, scroll, scroll. Your attention becomes broken. And when your attention breaks, your thinking breaks. This is why many people cannot sit quietly anymore. They cannot focus on one task for long. They cannot even watch a full conversation without checking their phone. Their brain is overstimulated and exhausted at the same time. Think about this carefully. Most people today are mentally tired, not because they work too hard, but because their brain never rests. A man named Kevin noticed something strange about himself. Every time he tried reading a book, he became restless after only 2 pages. His mind wanted stimulation. His hand wanted a phone. He felt anxious in silence. That is addiction, not weakness, addiction. So he made one simple rule. 30 minutes every day with no screens, no music, no scrolling, no background noise. At first it felt painful. His brain felt uncomfortable. Silence felt heavy. But after 1 week, something changed. His focus improved. His thoughts became clearer. His anxiety reduced. He felt mentally lighter because his brain finally had space to recover. And your brain needs recovery. Imagine a machine running 24 hours every day without stopping. Eventually, it overheats. It slows down. It breaks. That is exactly what happens to your mind. So every day, give your brain silence. Walk without your phone. Sit quietly. Think. Write. Breathe. Let your mind recover from constant stimulation. Because if you don't control your screen will control your brain. Now let us talk about sleep. And this is very important. Because many people think sleep is just rest. It is not. Sleep is brain repair. When you sleep deeply, your brain cleans itself. It organizes memory. It resets emotions. It removes mental waste. It repairs damage. But most people destroy their sleep every night. Phone beside the bed, lights on, videos playing, notifications buzzing. And then they wonder why they wake up mentally exhausted. Your brain needs darkness. Your brain needs silence. Your brain needs deep rest. There were two friends named Adam and Michael. Both worked the same job. Both had similar stress. But Adam slept in complete darkness with his phone outside the room. Michael slept with videos playing and notifications active. After 1 month, the difference became obvious. Adam felt focused, energetic, sharp. Michael felt irritated, forgetful, mentally foggy. Same amount of sleep, different quality. And quality changes everything. If you truly want a younger brain, protect your sleep like your life depends on it. Because honestly, it does. Make your room dark. Remove distractions. Keep your phone away. Let your brain fully rest. Because every night your brain is either healing or slowly breaking down. Now let us go deeper. Walk alone in nature without your phone. This sounds simple. But for modern people, it feels almost impossible. Most people cannot even walk for 10 minutes without checking something. Music, messages, videos, notifications. Their brain is terrified of silence. But silence is where healing begins. Nature resets the nervous system. It lowers stress hormones. It improves creativity. It calms the brain. And most importantly, it reconnects you with yourself. A woman named Eliza suffered from constant stress and panic attacks. Her mind never stopped racing. She felt mentally trapped. Her therapist told her something very simple. Walk outside every day without your phone. At first, she hated it. She felt bored, restless, uncomfortable. But slowly, her mind changed. She started hearing birds again, feeling wind again, noticing colors again, thinking deeply again. And one day she realized something painful. For years, she had been physically alive but mentally disconnected from life. That is what constant stimulation does. It disconnects you from reality. So walk outside sometimes with nothing. No phone, no distraction, just your thoughts. Because if you cannot be alone with your own mind, your brain is already in trouble. Now let us talk about something powerful. Read things that challenge your thinking. Most people only consume information they already agree with. They stay inside mental comfort zones. And because of that, their brain stops growing. A strong brain needs challenge. Not only physical challenge, mental challenge. When you read ideas that confuse you, your brain becomes active again. It starts analyzing, questioning, thinking deeply. That is growth. A man named Marcus believed wealthy people were evil. He hated success. He believed money always destroyed people. Then one day, he read a biography about a businessman who donated most of his fortune helping poor children. That book shook his thinking. Suddenly, his brain had to question old beliefs, and that discomfort created growth. You do not need to agree with everything you read, but you must challenge your mind. Read books from different perspectives. Study ideas you normally avoid. Force your brain to think deeper, because a brain that never gets challenged becomes mentally weak, and weak minds become easy to control. Now let us talk about memory. This part is painful because modern people are destroying their memory every single day. You forget something. Immediately, you check your phone. You forget a name. You search online. You forget information. You ask again. And every time you do this, you train your brain to stop trying. Your brain becomes lazy because technology is doing the remembering for you. But memory grows through struggle. A student named Sarah started practicing active recall. Before checking information, she forced herself to pause and try remembering first. At first, it felt frustrating, but after several weeks, her memory became dramatically stronger. She learned faster, spoke with more confidence, remembered details more easily, because she forced her brain to work again. And your brain needs work. Every time you struggle to remember something, your brain builds stronger connections. That discomfort is growth. So next time you forget something, stop immediately checking your phone. Pause. Think. Fight to remember. Because every moment of mental struggle is exercise for your brain. And exercise keeps your brain alive. Now, let us talk about doing things you are bad at. This is extremely important, because your brain grows most when you feel uncomfortable, not when you succeed easily, when you fail, when you struggle, when you look foolish. That is where growth happens. Learn something difficult. Practice speaking publicly. Try drawing. Learn piano. Study a new language. Your ego will hate this, because your ego wants comfort. It wants to feel smart. But your brain wants challenge, and challenge creates youth. People with young minds never stop learning, never stop experimenting, never stop struggling. The moment you stop learning new things, your brain starts aging rapidly. So stay curious, stay uncomfortable, stay growing. Because comfort may feel safe, but too much comfort slowly destroys the mind. Now, let us talk about conversations, because this may surprise you, but the way you speak to people affects your brain more than you realize. Most conversations today are empty. How are you? I'm good. What's up? Nothing much. People speak all day but say nothing real. And slowly, the brain becomes emotionally disconnected. Your brain needs depth. It needs emotion. It needs meaningful connection. It needs conversations that force you to think and feel at the same time. A deep conversation activates memory, emotion, focus, imagination, and empathy together. That is powerful brain exercise. Think about the last conversation you truly remember. Not small talk, a real conversation. Maybe someone shared a fear with you. Maybe someone spoke honestly about pain, regret, dreams, or loneliness. You remember it because your brain felt something real. Emotion strengthens memory. That is why shallow conversations disappear quickly from the mind, but deep emotional moments stay for years. A man named Ryan realized he had hundreds of online conversations every week, but still felt mentally empty. He talked constantly, but nothing felt meaningful. So he changed something simple. He stopped asking automatic questions. Instead of, "How are you?" he started asking things like, "What is something that changed your life recently? What is something you are afraid of?" What makes you feel truly alive? And suddenly, his conversations became deeper, more emotional, more human. His brain became more engaged. He felt mentally awake again, because meaningful human connection feeds the brain, and loneliness destroys it. Not physical loneliness, emotional loneliness. The feeling of never truly connecting with anyone. So stop treating conversations like noise. Talk deeply sometimes. Listen carefully. Ask real questions. Because your brain needs meaning, not endless shallow communication. Now, let us talk about routine. This habit quietly destroys millions of brains every year. Repetition without variation. Wake up. Same breakfast. Same route. Same music. Same thoughts. Same life. Day after day after day. Your brain starts running on autopilot. And when your brain stops noticing new things, life starts feeling shorter and emptier. That is why many adults feel like years pass in a blur. Their brain stopped paying attention long ago. A young woman named Emma noticed she could barely remember her weeks anymore. Every day felt identical. She felt mentally numb. So she started making tiny changes. Different walking routes, different books, different foods, different morning habits, different music. Nothing huge. But suddenly her brain started becoming alert again. Because novelty wakes up the brain. Small changes create mental stimulation. And mental stimulation keeps your brain alive. Brush your teeth with the opposite hand. Rearrange your room. Take different roads. Sit somewhere new. Eat somewhere different. Tiny changes. Powerful effect. Because your brain grows through surprise, and surprise disappears when life becomes automatic. Now let us talk about teaching. This habit is one of the strongest ways to strengthen memory. Most people consume information endlessly, but never use it. Videos, books, podcasts, quotes. Then everything disappears. Why? Because passive learning is weak learning. Your brain remembers information better when you explain it to someone else. Teaching forces your brain to organize thoughts clearly. It forces deeper understanding. A student named Daniel started doing something simple. Every night, he explained one thing he learned that day to his younger brother. At first, it felt awkward. But after some weeks, his memory became dramatically stronger. Because teaching transformed information into understanding. So every time you learn something valuable, share it, explain it, teach it. Even if it is only one sentence, because a brain that teaches stays active, and an active brain stays young. Now let us talk about games, not mindless games, strategy games. Most modern games are built to destroy attention, fast rewards, bright colors, easy dopamine, no thinking, no patience, no deep focus. And slowly, the brain loses the ability to think deeply. But strategy games are different. Chess, puzzles, memory games, problem-solving games. These force your brain to think ahead, analyze, plan, focus. And focus is becoming rare today. A teenager named Alex realized he could not concentrate on studying for more than 10 minutes. His brain constantly wanted stimulation. So he replaced fast entertainment games with chess and logic puzzles. At first, it felt boring. His brain resisted. But slowly, his concentration improved. His patience improved. His thinking became sharper. Because deep thinking is exercise, and exercise strengthens the brain. Now let us talk about fasting. This habit sounds simple, but it can dramatically affect mental clarity. Most people constantly feed themselves. Snacks, sugar, coffee, more snacks. Their body never rests. And when the body constantly digests food, mental energy decreases. Intermittent fasting gives the brain recovery time. A businessman named Michael started fasting 12 hours overnight twice a week. At first, he felt uncomfortable, but after some weeks, he noticed stronger focus, clearer thinking, and higher energy. Because controlled discomfort strengthens the mind, and your brain responds powerfully to discipline. Now let us talk about writing, not typing. Writing by hand. This activates memory differently. When you write slowly by hand, your brain processes information more deeply. Thoughts become clearer. Ideas become stronger. Emotions become easier to understand. A woman named Nina started journaling every morning for 10 minutes. She wrote about her thoughts, fears, and goals. After several months, she felt mentally calmer and emotionally clearer. Because writing organizes chaos inside the mind, and an organized mind feels younger. Now let us go deeper into discomfort. This is one of the biggest secrets of mental youth. Everything that strengthens the brain lives outside comfort. Cold showers, hard conversations, new experiences, discipline, learning, challenge. But modern people avoid discomfort constantly, and because of that, they become mentally fragile. A fragile brain struggles with pressure. A trained brain adapts. Imagine two people facing stress. One immediately panics. The other stays calm. The difference is training. The calm person trained their brain through discomfort repeatedly. That is why challenge matters. Not because pain is good, but because growth lives inside challenge. And now let us reach the final truth. Your brain is either growing or shrinking every day. There is no neutral. Every habit matters. Every routine matters. Every distraction matters. You are shaping your brain constantly. The question is simple. Are you building a strong mind, or are you slowly destroying it? Because one day, the result becomes visi. Some people become older, but stay mentally alive, curious, sharp, energetic. Others become mentally exhausted long before old age arrives. And the difference is habits. Daily habits, repeated quietly for years. So protect your brain. Challenge it. Train it. Feed it correctly. Rest it deeply. Use it fully. Because your mind is your life. And if you lose your mind, you slowly lose yourself. So start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because the strongest brains are not born. They are built. And every small habit you choose today is shaping the person you will become tomorrow. Because after all these habits, after all these lessons, the biggest question is not, how do I keep my brain young? The real question is, who am I becoming? Every habit you repeat is shaping your identity. Every action is teaching your brain what kind of person you are. When you wake up and immediately scroll your phone, your brain learns distraction. When you avoid difficult things, your brain learns fear. When you repeat the same routine every day, your brain learns passiveness. But when you challenge yourself, your brain learns growth. When you stay disciplined, your brain learns strength. When you force yourself to focus, your brain learns control. That is why habits matter so much, because habits are not just actions, they are identity training. A man named Victor realized something painful at the age of 52. Physically, he was healthy, but mentally, he felt old. Not because of age, but because he stopped growing years ago. Every day became automatic. Wake up, work, watch television, sleep, repeat. No challenge, no curiosity, no excitement. One day, he looked in the mirror and said something honest to himself. I'm still alive, but I stopped living. That sentence changed him. He started small, reading 10 pages every night, walking outside without his phone, learning basic piano online, taking cold showers, writing his thoughts down every morning. At first, everything felt uncomfortable. His brain resisted every change. But after several months, something incredible happened. He felt mentally awake again. His eyes looked brighter. His energy returned. He became curious again. Not because his life magically changed, but because his brain started growing again. And growth creates energy. This is something many people forget. Mental youth is not about age. It is about curiosity. The moment you stop learning, stop exploring, stop challenging yourself, your brain begins aging rapidly. That is why some 70-year-olds feel mentally alive, while some 25-year-olds already feel mentally exhausted. One person keeps growing. The other stopped years ago. Now let us talk about fear. Because fear silently destroys millions of minds. People become afraid of looking stupid, afraid of failing, afraid of trying something new, afraid of embarrassment. And because of that fear, they stop growing completely. A young woman named Sophia always wanted to speak English confidently, but every time she tried, she felt embarrassed. She was afraid people would laugh at her mistakes. So for years, she stayed silent. Her brain stayed trapped in fear. Then one day, she made a decision. Being embarrassed for a few minutes is better than staying weak forever. So she started speaking. Slowly, badly, uncomfortably. And yes, she made mistakes. But something important happened. Her brain adapted. Her confidence grew. Her fear became smaller. Because fear shrinks when action grows. And this lesson applies to everything. Your brain grows when you move toward discomfort, not away from it. That is why courage matters. Not because fearless people are special, but because courage keeps the brain alive. Now let us talk about emotional health. Most people think brain health is only memory and focus. It is not. Your emotions affect your brain deeply. Constant stress damages memory. Constant anger damages focus. Constant negativity damages energy. That is why protecting your emotional state is important. A man named Aaron spent years surrounded by negative people, complaining people, angry people, toxic people. Slowly, his own thinking changed. He became mentally exhausted, pessimistic, emotionally drained. Then he changed his environment. Less negativity, more learning, more growth-focused people. And within months, his brain felt lighter. Because your environment shapes your mental state. The people around you influence your thinking more than you realize. That is why protecting your environment protects your brain. Now let us talk about movement. Your brain was not designed for endless sitting. Movement increases blood flow to the brain. It improves memory, mood, and concentration. You do not need extreme workouts. Even walking matters. Stretching matters. Movement tells your brain, we are alive. That is why after exercise many people feel mentally clearer, because the brain becomes activated. A retired teacher named Helen started walking 30 minutes every morning after feeling mentally foggy for years. At first, she only wanted physical health, but after several weeks, she noticed something unexpected. Her thinking became sharper. Her emotions became calmer. Her creativity returned. Because movement feeds the brain. Now let us go deeper into purpose. This may be one of the most powerful lessons in the entire video. People with purpose stay mentally younger longer. Why? Because purpose creates direction. Direction creates energy. Energy creates movement. A person with no purpose slowly loses mental fire. Life becomes repetitive. Meaning disappears. And when meaning disappears, the brain loses excitement. That is why many people feel mentally dead long before physical old age arrives. Not because of age, because of lack of purpose. A man named James retired at 60 and immediately stopped challenging himself. No goals, no projects, no learning. He spent every day sitting comfortably. Within 2 years, his mental energy collapsed. He felt slow, forgetful, disconnected. Then his granddaughter convinced him to start teaching local children woodworking skills. Everything changed. He had purpose again. His brain became active again. His energy returned, because purpose keeps the mind alive. So ask yourself honestly, what are you building? What excites you? What gives your life meaning? Because your brain needs more than comfort. It needs purpose. Now let us reach the final message. Your brain is your responsibility. Not your phone's responsibility. Not society's responsibility. Yours. Every day you are either feeding your brain or starving it. Every habit matters. Every distraction matters. Every choice matters. And the scary part is the destruction happens quietly. No alarm, no warning, just slow mental decline. Until one day people realize they cannot focus anymore, cannot remember anymore, cannot feel excited anymore. But now you know the truth. You know that your brain can grow stronger at any age. You know that challenge creates growth. You know that discomfort creates strength. And most importantly, you know that small daily habits shape your future mind. So start now. Use your brain fully. Challenge yourself daily. Learn constantly. Move your body. Protect your focus. Rest deeply. Think deeply. Live intentionally. Because one day, your future depends on the brain you are building today. And if you protect it, train it, and challenge it consistently, you will not just stay mentally young. You will stay mentally alive. Final emotional ending. Now let me tell you something honestly. Most people watching this video will do nothing. They will listen. They will agree. They will feel motivated for 1 hour. And tomorrow, they will return to the same habits that are quietly destroying their brain. The same scrolling, the same distractions, the same comfort, the same mental weakness. And one day, they will wonder why they feel tired all the time, why they cannot focus, why they forget everything, why life feels empty. But you do not have to become one of those people, because now you see the truth. Your brain is alive. It is changing every single day, and every habit is shaping it. Every hour matters. Every decision matters. The scary thing about brain decline is that it happens slowly, quietly. You don't notice it immediately. You just feel a little more distracted, a little more tired, a little less curious, a little less alive. Until years pass and you realize your mental fire disappeared. That is why this matters now. Not when you are older. Not when the damage becomes obvious. Now. A man named Robert once said something powerful after changing his habits for 6 months. He said, "I thought I needed motivation, but what I really needed was mental discipline." That sentence changed his life, because motivation comes and goes. But discipline protects the brain. Discipline wakes you up when comfort tries to make you weak. And modern life is full of comfort. Unlimited entertainment, unlimited distraction, unlimited noise. The world constantly pulls your attention away from deep thinking, away from focus, away from growth. And if you are not careful, your brain slowly becomes addicted to easy stimulation. That addiction destroys mental strength. This is why silence feels uncomfortable now. This is why reading feels difficult now. This is why people cannot focus for long anymore. Their brain has been trained to expect constant dopamine, fast pleasure, fast entertainment, fast distraction. But your brain becomes powerful through slowness, through focus, through challenge, through repetition. That is why difficult habits matter so much. Reading when you feel lazy, walking without your phone, taking cold showers, learning difficult things, sitting in silence. These habits are not just activities. They are resistance. Resistance against mental weakness. And every time you choose challenge over comfort, your brain grows stronger. Now imagine two futures. In the first future, you ignore everything from this video. You continue scrolling endlessly. You avoid difficult things. You repeat the same routine every day. Years pass. Your focus becomes weaker. Your memory becomes slower. Your motivation disappears. Life starts feeling automatic. You stop growing mentally. And eventually, you become someone who only survives instead of truly living. Now imagine the second future. You protect your brain daily. You challenge yourself. You stay curious. You train your focus. You keep learning. You stay mentally alive. Years pass. But your mind stays sharp. Your thinking stays clear. Your energy stays strong. You continue growing while others slowly shut down mentally. That future is possible, but it depends on what you do consistently, not occasionally. Consistently, because your brain listens to repetition. Whatever you repeat becomes your identity. Repeat distraction, and your brain becomes distracted. Repeat discipline, and your brain becomes disciplined. Repeat growth, and your brain becomes stronger. That is why small habits are powerful. People underestimate small daily actions. But small habits repeated for years create massive change. A 10-minute walk, a few pages of reading, a quiet moment without screens, one difficult task daily. These things look small, but together they completely transform the mind. Now let us talk about age one last time. Many people are terrified of getting older. But age itself is not the real problem. Mental stagnation is the problem. Some people stay mentally alive at 70 because they never stop growing. Others become mentally exhausted at 30 because they stopped challenging themselves years ago. So do not ask, how old am I? Ask, am I still growing? Because growth is youth. Curiosity is youth. Learning is youth. Challenge is youth. And your brain desperately needs those things. Now think carefully about your current life. What habits are helping your brain, and what habits are destroying it? Be honest. Because honesty creates change. Maybe you need less screen time. Maybe you need more sleep. Maybe you need silence. Maybe you need challenge. Maybe you need purpose again. Whatever it is, start now. Not perfectly, just honestly. Because even small improvement matters. And remember this, your brain does not care about your excuses. It responds only to your actions. You can watch motivational videos forever. You can save quotes forever. You can plan forever. But if your habits never change, your brain never changes. Real transformation happens through action, daily action, repeated action, uncomfortable action. That is how strong minds are built. Not through talent, not through luck, through discipline. And deep inside, you already know this. You know when your brain feels alive. You know when your habits are hurting you. You know when you are wasting your focus. So stop ignoring the truth. Protect your mind. Train your mind. Challenge your mind. Because your brain controls everything. Your focus, your emotions, your memory, your future. And if you lose control of your mind, you slowly lose control of your life. But if you strengthen your mind, everything changes. Your confidence changes. Your energy changes. Your thinking changes. Your future changes. So from today, make one decision. Fight for your brain. Not tomorrow. Today. Because the strongest people in the world are not always the richest or the fastest. They are the people who stay mentally alive while everyone else slowly becomes numb. And you still have time to become one of them.